now it's my pleasure to introduce to all of you Dino Maurizio, who is the chairman of Informatics Without Border, Informatici Senza Frontiere, an organization without goal of profits, which is located in Italy and which is collecting pro bono activities of professional computer scientists throughout the world to promote projects which are for the benefit of humankind, especially those people who have less opportunities than what we have. So Dino, I see that you are now online, you are now unmuted. Dino has a large history also of being a professional. He worked for IBM, has been a CEO, and so he's not a person without a huge professional background. And it's nice that this kind of people then also coordinate activities for those in need. You know, it's really a pleasure to have you here. It's really a pleasure that you found part of your time to devote to this conference on open source system. Please.
Okay, thanks to everybody, and thanks for the invitation. Let me share my screen. It doesn't work, apparently, let's say. Share.
So, Dino, do you need any assistance?
No. Because I have to authorize Zoom, so give me 1 minute that I have to go out from Zoom and come back again.
No. And now everything should be fixed. So try now. Try to share it now.
Okay, let's see. It seems working. Share.
Okay, great. Now it's working. It was my fault. Sorry.
Okay, good. Don't worry. So let me. Okay. Okay, let's start. So in my talk, I will discuss about Informatici Senza Frontiere, or if you prefer in English, ICT Without Borders. That is an Italian NGO that use the ICT competences to help people and the communities living in poor or difficult socioeconomic situation. And in one word, we try to overcome, if you want, the digital divide. You can imagine what means digital technology for poor countries, because only coming from new technology, they can also transform part of their life. And this is a reason for us to have chosen this kind of things, because you know, ICT is everywhere. There is no product that could be done without ICT, or that cannot have ICT inside itself. Even any research can be done without ICT, because the analysis of data that usually is a base of any research have to be elaborated through ICT. And so ICT is a key element. Is a key element for everyone, not only for the poor country, but also for our countries. And the technology, because the digital technology brings innovation. And this kind of innovation brings also economic and social transformation. Even in the poorest sub-Saharan countries, or even in the last slum of Rio. So this is a reason of our activity. If we start looking at to what we are doing as in terms of projects, we work around three main directions. The first one is knowledge, the second is development, and the third one is disability. Regarding the knowledge, we mainly teach basic ICT information. In Africa, we teach to school teachers, and because we discover, of course, that it is better to teach instead of teaching to students, and we started with students, by the way, some years ago, because they can replicate the information and the knowledge. But there is also a second reason that is related to the fact that we go there one month a year or something like that. And going back, we usually found different students. Now, instead we found the same teacher, so we can grow also their knowledge and their experience. Regarding the classes, or the teaching, we have something particular that we did in Beira. Beira is a city in Mozambique, where we started to teach ICT to blind people, to blind young people. And there is a course there since 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And last year we had the first 2 students that enrolled to the university, and they pass all the exams. So it is a big result, at least for us. In Africa, we did also consulting and help in data collection. As an example, we have now a project that try to make a relation between the food that in a particular region of Uganda they eat and the diseases they usually have in that region. This is the first step of a large project that we do with an organization of a medical organization and with a university, an Italian university. In Italy, regarding knowledge, we started teaching in difficult situations. I mean, in prison, in center for immigrants, in center for drug addicted people. We taught to street children, mainly in Naples. We taught to unemployed people with the only objective, of course, to give them the possibility to build a new life. Last year, with employed people and unemployed people and with immigrants, we have also, I would say, great success, because in the project World Lab, that is a course done in 7 different languages to immigrants, we had at the end that the 42% of the people found a job. Again, on the knowledge, in the last years, we had a lot of demand for other kind of teaching issue. And the demand came from schools and for senior citizens. For schools, we started to teach computational thinking in the public schools. And we started using the disciplines coming from the Boston MIT, and we teach Scratch, the Scratch language. That has a double benefit. The first one is that the student learn how to solve problem in a logical way, step by step, working step by step. The second benefit is that they do things, realize the program, they test the program, they correct themselves. So it is also a work in progress learning that is maybe much effective than a traditional learning process coming from the teacher to the student in one way only. For the schools, we do also small courses on the good, if you want, good use of the network, trying to avoid to the children of 10, 15 years, I would say, cyberbullyism occasion. For senior citizens, we started teaching a correct use of smartphone, mainly for video calls or for giving them the possibility to access to the services that are delivered from the institutional site. One experiment we did also with seniors, because we taught to seniors, and they started to teach to other seniors, and with our help, but we tried to put in place a sort of virtual circle, and it worked well. Last item related to knowledge is related to the festival that we run every year. This year it will be from 15th to 17th of October in Rovereto, that is a town at the northeast of Italy, where we show how the digital technology could do for people in the area of socially. So this is a good part, the good use of technology. On the other hand, we discuss the bad use of technology, and with experts, we discuss of fake news, of fraud, of anything related to the ICT ethics, if you. And this is the only festival, the only convention in Europe that has a focus on the ethics. So second area where we work is what I called developing. That means for us the realization of hardware and software solution for developing countries. In the slide you can see where we realize I've realized projects, and our solution go from solution for hospital to solution for pharmacy or solution for municipalities. And most of them are installed in the African sub-Saharan countries. We have few installed in Europe, 2 for the center of migrants, and other couple for the north, for the east of the world, for hospital. I say hospital is an important realization that we have done, and it comes from Open Hospital. Open Hospital is an application that we have written in open source, of course, as all our application, are that are open source application. It is a multi-language, multi-user application, client server. Now we are migrating this application to web. It is quite diffuse because we have around 30 installation in 30 hospitals, means in Africa, running this application. This application is for managing every activities that are in an hospital. So it means the registration of the patient, the registration of the laboratory exams, the management of the bills, the management of the pharmacy, where is an important piece related to the stock control. Because we are able, or in the hospital, they have a check, they have an alert when the stock of the medicine are going to go out of stock. So give them the time to supply again the medicine. That is important because in the past, without the application, very often we have found that they realized to be out of stock when the medicine are required. And that is, of course, is a problem if the medicine is for vital things. So are vital drugs or vital medicine. We develop also some function in Open Hospital for reminder to the people that are at home, and we send them SMS messages to advise them that they have to come to the hospital for exam or for visits. Inside the application, we have also a decom viewer, so from the application you can view the images of some specific exams. Of course, there are the possibility of many kind of report of statistics. I would say also, I have to say that this application in 2016 has been prized by the United Nations during the Worldwide Summit that every year United Nations has in Geneva, summit related to ICT. And this application has been prized as one of the 4 best application of health area. If someone wants to know something more, you can find everything in the website in open.hospital.org or through the surforge.net, where you can find the coding, the manual, and so on. Other application that we use in our project are OpenERP, that probably most of you know already. We use OpenERP mainly for accounting, also in the hospital. We develop some small function in addition to the standard OpenERP. We develop also an open source application for managing the pharmacy of Sharawi. Sharawi is an area, a small area, and a small population of around 300,000 people that live in difficult condition in the middle of Saharan desert. Another application that is quite specific now that we are developing is an artificial intelligence application for contrasting the hate speech in the socials. This application intercepts the chat, look at what they say, see if there is some hate speech inside, and then if he discovers it, he starts another chat for contrasting the hate speech. We are in testing phase regarding this application. The other applications that you can read here are related to disability, and I will tell you in 1 second what they are. So disability is the third direction where we work, and third direction of our projects. Our idea is to build low-cost tools with the possibility to reach the highest number of people with a disability. Just to give you an example, instead of spending 20,000 euros for the communicator that I tell you later, we are able to build a simple communicator with 2,000 euro. I say highest number of people because 1 out of 6 people in Europe has some sort of disability. And so there are a lot of people that are not, that don't have the possibility to have the appropriate and a good tool for a better life. The application that we have built are, as an example, ISA, that means I Speak Again. That is an application for ALS affected people. Through this application, that is a reality communicator, they can, when they are not able to anymore to speak with their mouth, they can speak through a computer, and they can do it just moving their eyes. Again, there are applications like this one in the commercial side, of course. But as I said, the cost of our application is more or less 1/10 of the normal cost of in the commercial side. We did also something for the blind people. As an example, in the figure you can see on the right, you see a smartphone. And with this smartphone, a blind people could read his preferred newspaper. When I say read, it means that he can hear the article of the newspaper through the smartphone. We have an application for deaf people, and we make a sort of speech-to-text conversion when in the conference, an example, deaf people has to attend. And we started also to make something always for blind people, something related to the art, because we build with a 3D printer. We built we reproduce in three dimensions famous paintings in order for the blind people to understand and to see the painting touching it. This is not only touching a three-dimension painting, but is also listening something in the with the smartphone that we prepare for each painting. In this area, it was easy for modern painting. It is quite more difficult for the ancient painting, and we are working on that. Last example when you can read play musical instrument is related to a project that we do for a player, for a music player. And I close my speech showing you a video. This video is related to this experience. But I have to tell you first what is the story of this player. This player is Vincenzo. Who is Vincenzo? Vincenzo is a trumpet player, famous in Italy, by the way, very clever. He plays his trumpet and he writes music. He is very clever. It is he plays for different bands in Italy, but he's also invited outside Italy. He was invited to the Blue Note in New York, as an example. Blue Note, you know, is a temple of jazz, because Vincenzo mainly play jazz, and it is a lucky young man. The story of Vincenzo with us started when one night, coming back from a concert and driving his car, another car crossed the way of Vincenzo, and there was a terrible accident. Vincenzo went in coma, stayed more than 1 week in coma. And when he woke up, he discovered to be completely paralyzed. You can imagine what was the reaction of Vincenzo, that when all his dreams suddenly disappeared. Today, Vincenzo is able to move only his head. Fortunately, he can speak without problem, but any other part of his body is paralyzed. He is able to move a bit his left arm, just that bit that gives him the possibility to move the electric wheelchair. Well, we met Vincenzo 7 years after his accident, and still he was dreaming to play again his trumpet, but without, of course, without any possibility. We put in place small teams of experts, and we did something. We use some electromagnets, and put the electromagnets over the pistons of the trumpet. each electromagnet could move, if solicited, one of the pistons. We connected the electromagnet to a microprocessor, and also to the microprocessors we connected a sort of joystick. In this way, we programmed the microprocessor, and for each position of the joystick correspond a movement of the piston of the trumpet. And then we gave this solution to Vincenzo. I show you the first prototype of this solution. Now Vincenzo has a new, we work again on what we have done, and now Vincenzo is using what we have done in concert, because Vincenzo go back to make concert. So I thank you, and I leave showing this video, and then if you have question, I'm here. This is Vincenzo. Okay.
Well, I would like, let me first thanks a lot Dino for his very deep and very touchy talk. This is definitely impressive, and we have a few questions. First, I would like to share the comment by a student, Artyom, who said, wow, doing is absolutely impressive. And then the next question is, you launch so many programs, right? And you are also a manager, because your background is also a manager. How do you measure the effectiveness of your program? How do you decide where to invest your time?
This is a good question, because first, I don't know if I tell you, but it is this association, this organization started 15 years ago. And 15 years ago, the reason to start was mainly the hospitals, because we started with an hospital, and then we continue to have a request for hospital in Africa. till a few years ago, the main reason was coming from needs from the field, say, from requests that they came to us. Today, there is also something different, unfortunately, I would say, because for having, being able to finance our projects, we have a lot of problem having money from donation and or from other funds. And now I say that more than half of our finance come from tender, and we participate to European or Italian tender.
Yes.
And that obliges us also to be consequent to the request that the tender do. And this, I tell you, is for us is a bit a problem because sometimes we have difficulties to remain in our into our objectives. What we have also started is, and that is good instead, is to have a relationship with the commercial company and convince them that inside their customer relation initiative, corporate social responsibility initiative, they can, we can do something with them. And this is another, another possibility that we have. So the requests are coming always from Africa, from organizations that work in Africa. The requests are coming from the Italian community. This is mainly for teaching different things related to the digital technology. So far, we suffer a bit on the third area, that is the area of disability. I don't know if I give an answer to the question, but this is more or less the story of how we choose where to work.
Okay, Dino, thanks a lot. That was very deep. And for your knowledge, I don't know if you had the time to look at the program of the conference. Yesterday, there was Stefano Zamagni talking, and you know, he was one of the guys who inspired Velo about the third sector in Italy about 25 years ago. So that was an interesting coincidence. Now, Patrick is also would like to ask a question. Patrick is saying, I used to contribute on the Open Hospital project in Cameroon for the association Uni to Grow. Very, very interesting. And I'm proud to meet you here. I have some questions. How do you manage to help hospitals that install the software? And what are your plans to make your community growing? And let me ask myself on the top of this, are you considering to create suitable open source communities around your project?
Yeah. First of all, we have I would say large community around Open Hospital because we have a contribution from all over the world. Usually we put all our requests of new functionality. As an example, we make a list and then the open community work on the list of the that we did. Our strategy is also to work with the local organization in Africa, and Uni to Grow is one of them, because we started to work with them a few years ago. And by the way, we are starting a new project. I hope to start a new project soon. At least we are preparing to start a new project. It's not easy, because we try to involve other organizations in Africa, but it's quite difficult because the knowledge not always is at the right level. But I believe that is the right direction. So we must use local organization, and we must give them the knowledge to manage then after us, as an example, the hospital application or other application. So far, we work with different organizations, mainly medical organizations, and according to their request, we go there for installing or for doing for building new function or to recover from problems. We have where we can, everywhere we can, we put also a connection with each hospital, and when we can, we manage the problem from Italy. But I have one guy that is fully dedicated to Open Hospital, and most of his time, not now, unfortunately, is in Africa, going around from one hospital to the other. I say one guy is fully on Open Hospital, but there are many others that work for Open Hospital, some, I mean, as volunteer. So it means some weeks every year.
Thank you, Dino, for the answer. And now we have another question from Yazilia. And Yazilia is asking, how long do you think it will take for such program to develop an infrastructure which will be available worldwide for all the people in need? What is the diffusion time that you think for your infrastructure?
It's difficult to me understand what means for infrastructure, because if you speak about Open Hospital, we are working on a web version Open Hospital that I hope that it will be ready, I would say, by the end of this year. And with this version, we can also have an infrastructure that could be run centrally for everywhere. In this case, we have also to solve some data privacy problem, because the data, you know, you can not move data from one country, usually from one country to another. If infrastructure means how to put in place a sort of other organization like Informatici Senza Frontiere around the world, that is another story, because we started to work with some other countries, in particular Switzerland, Spain, Holland, but without, I have to tell the truth, without a really good result. Probably for our fault, because we don't have the time to follow in detail everything. Few years ago, another organization, Informatici Senza Frontiere, started for initiative in Tunisia. That is strange. and we help them at the beginning, but nothing more.
And if I can ask you a last question. I mean, here, the conference is hosted in a university. And you know, university has many smart students doing their thesis work. Have you ever thought to engage directly with universities to have people doing as part of their thesis or their internship activities for you?
Yeah, we do it. We did it. The problem is that the student needs also to have a tutor. And so the tutor, it means that we need people that are able to have the time to follow as tutor the students. That is not easy because most of our activities are done by voluntary people. So yes, we do it, but not able to do in a large amount of with a large amount of students, but you have few every year.
Okay, so let me say that you made really an impressive talk. The number of people attending, despite the fact that the day is going to an end, went for about 55 to about 65. So this is a significant increase, Dino. So thanks a lot for coming and sharing with us your experience, and I encourage everyone in the auditorium who wants to help you to join in, and if I can say, to write you directly. Your email address is
Dino.Maurizio, DINOMAURIZIO, at informaticisenzafrontiere.org.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot. And now we have a little music break until we wait for the next keynote, which will be given by Vladimir Rubanov, who is the CTO